Welcome to the Zompire Horde podcast. Join us every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as your hosts, Vlad the Rad and Michelle of the Dead, discuss horror, true crime, and the macabre. Episodes available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Join us, won't you? Hello!
Good evening. Good evening, boys and girls.
And welcome back to another Zompire Horde podcast, where I, your host, Vlad the Rad, hanging out with my good pal, Michelle of the Dead. Well, shit the bed, Michelle of the Dead. What do you say? What do you do? How's it going?
It is going great. I actually just got back from a 4-day trip to New Orleans yesterday.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many videos I'll send you and so many other pictures. Those didn't even begin to cover it, but I'd never been before. I'd never been on a girls' trip. Lots of stories that we can talk about on another episode. But let's get into our episode tonight, which is about cults. So Vlad, what actually is a cult? What's the definition of a cult? A cult, it's a system or an organization, usually led by a charismatic leader who gets people to do whatever they want. And they usually have like an unusual set of beliefs and practices.
Right.
Many times it's religious. And many times it is based around the end of the world and apocalypse.
Sure. So let me say that a cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical belief and rituals.
Well, I just paraphrased that myself in my own words.
Its common interest in a particular personality, object, or goal. I know you did, but I was like, I wanted to read the actual, like, what a cult defined is. So that's what I was like looking up. I'm like, okay, I'll be able to, like, that way we can say what a cult is.
Yeah. So I think everybody understands what a cult is. Hey Amanda, Melissa, how's it going? I just turned my comments on.
I did too.
It's really good to be home, you guys. Hello. Yeah, it's really good to be fucking home. It's really hot down there. It's really stinky. It smells like sewage, rotten fruit, and piss.
I would imagine anywhere where there's like, it's constantly a party, you know.
Dude, the French Quarter's insane. It is a party town. I did have a lot of fun, but there's also really beautiful parts, like the Garden District, and it's great. And
well, while you were there, did you look at? I mean, you knew the topic for this week. Did you look up to see if there was any cults nearby that you could investigate?
It's not really a cultish town. I mean, this is one of the oldest towns in the country, and it's based on this huge river of commerce where just lots of horrible things happened there. A lot of death. I think in the French Quarter, every single building there, besides two, had been affected by fire, and there's been murder on every street.
On every
so
street.
Not a lot of cults. It's more like voodoo. Vampires, stuff like that, and ghosts. It's not really a lot of cult stuff, but
okay, all right.
Yeah. So it wasn't really that type of scenario.
I would think though, like most places have a little bit of everything. They would probably have some sort of voodoo cult or something to that.
Yeah. I mean, you might consider voodoo a cult because it is a type of religion, and many people consider religions cults because they have a set of beliefs. And I wouldn't say voodoo really necessarily has rules. I mean, everybody has like, you kind of should and shouldn't do do not types of things. But
I feel like voodoo is kind of like pagan heathen type shit, where it's like basically the energy behind it is what actually does it. It's just like the ritual itself that facilitates.
Well, I learned a lot about voodoo. I got myself a voodoo doll. Basically, voodoo originated because people back in the day, they had doctors and all that sort of stuff back in like the 1800s, but they wouldn't allow Black people to read or write. So when they went to the doctor, they would just put a pin on the place that hurt or that they work on, and they would just keep doing this. So this is basically their medical record, the pins were. So, you break your foot, he's going to put a pin here so we can mark, and you keep checking it next time or whatever, and they hurt themselves. And basically a voodoo doll, that's how it originated. But then, how fables and things get
Right, for sure.
Built over time. And it's tradition that I respect, and especially like the Haitian voodoo. But anyways, voodoo could be another show. Let's talk about cults.
What? Give me one second. You talk for a quick second. Give me 1 second.
One. Hey, how long is a second for you?
That was a second.
Okay. So I'm wondering, we should probably start off with there's a couple of major ones that everybody fucking knows about that maybe we should start off with.
So I had kind of I don't want to say like a top 5, but 5 I certainly wanted to speak about, which are probably most of them are going to be, like the top ones. Like the first one I was going to bring up was obviously the People's Temple, which is the Jim Jones.
Yeah, the Jim Jones is the first one on my list too.
Okay, so that actually, the Jim Jones or the People's Temple was from 1955 to 1978.
Yep.
Was when they existed. It was founded by Jim Jones in Indiana in 1955. So let's get into
their goal
What's up with the People's
was
Temple?
the goal was to create like an egalitarian utopian society. He was a self-proclaimed messiah. He had this huge commune. He also was one of those that feared his type of apocalypse wasn't like the coming of God or aliens or anything. It was more of like a war, a nuclear attack. So that was his big fear. And that's why he moved. But anyways, you go ahead. Go.
Well, one of the things that when I was researching this that I had actually forgot about was, do you remember? I don't know if you looked it up or not, but there was actually a congressman, Leo Ryan.
He went to go check out their commune because they were concerned about the people that were stuck there.
Right, and then they ended up murdering him, and I think it was 2 or 3 other
all the dudes he was with, and so that started this whole fucking thing.
We're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there next. The Branch Davidians will be next.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it was just crazy that they went to go get checked on, and we're just because that was in Ghana? Was that the country that happened in?
I think so.
Yeah, I want to say it was Ghana, but
something like that. I didn't write that part down. But
yeah, yeah, it is. It is Ghana. Yeah, it is Ghana.
Yeah. So after that, they went to go check on him, and they got shot. So he ordered a mass suicide of his followers, and what they drank, it was Flavor Aid mixed with cyanide.
Right. Well, and not
he basically forced them to do it. It was
right.
This resulted in the second largest civilian death in American history, only second to 9/11. 909 fucking people.
It's wild to think that he was able to get that many people to follow him, right? Because a lot of times
that was forced though.
That big.
He forced those people though. They were held at gunpoint and shit, I think.
Well, and I know that there was people that when
we're getting there too.
When the whole suicide thing started, or when when they were going through the process of people drinking the Flavor Aid, there's people that were backing out. They're like, I'm not going to do it. And they would just shoot them up with a syringe of it or even shoot them. And I don't know how morbid people are compared to me, but if you go on YouTube, you can actually listen to the recording of all of this happening. It was actually recorded. I for a long time had a or not a DVD, but a burnt CD copy of it.
Right.
But I don't know whatever happened to it. But I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. There's still it's still up on YouTube, and it's disturbing. You know what I mean? Because you can't see anything, but you're just hearing what was going on. You paint a picture in your mind of what was happening, and it was just wild listening to it all. But it's crazy. I mean, it was women, children.
Yeah.
He preyed on elderly and people with mental disabilities in order to build his
well, because they're easier influenced.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Fun fact. The term "drink the Kool-Aid" was based on that event.
There's a term "drink the Kool-Aid"?
Yeah, drinking the Kool-Aid, just
Oh, well, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Meaning you're following the crowd. You're following the crowd.
That's where that came from.
I got you.
Yeah. You haven't heard that?
No, I have. I think I just didn't think of it in the way you were saying it. You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
But I get it now. I understand more now because I'm okay, yeah, because you're talking about following the crowd, because that's what they were doing basically. If you're in a cult,
Yeah.
you're just following, what was going on.
Sorry, my back hurts.
I should have told you this prior to us doing this episode, and I'm trying to remember the name of the cult it was, but Angela and I almost joined a cult when we were down in California. We were homeless. Well, not really homeless. Like, we were going to stay at this like RV ranch, but we had this time where we couldn't go there yet. And so we went to go find some food. I ended up selling a battle vest that I had made, and we went and like to go get food. And the place that we got the food at, they grew everything that they served there, or mostly what they could, and they had all these other farms around the United States or all over the world in South America and stuff, and so that whatever they could grow here, they would trade with their other farms that they were like linked to. And right. I was like, this is so cool. And then they're like, do you want to come see our farm? And we're like, yeah, let's go see the farm. So we go see the farm, and it's like all the boys have to sleep in one cottage, all the girls sleep in another cottage. Unless you're married, then you get your own cottage. And like, it was just like all these weird things. And then so we decided, we're like, we're not fucking staying here. Like, this is wild. Like, there's no way, this is crazy. And so we left, and then I can't remember the name of it, but it's like they have some name that they all go by, like as a group, all these farms.
Wow.
And yeah, and so after the fact, I mentioned this to my aunt, who at the time was the sheriff or like one of the top sheriffs in the San Diego Water Patrol, the sheriff's department in San Diego County. And she's like, yeah, don't get mixed up with those people. They're fucking weirdos. Like, she was telling me about it too. So I was almost this close getting into a cult.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know it was a cult, so.
No, but they also told me that you had to change your name to like a Hebrew name.
No thanks.
And I was like, yeah. I think that was what tipped me off to like, something's not right.
Yeah, I'm not changing my name to be in a club. Sorry.
Yeah. But so that's how I almost ended up in a cult.
Well, I'm glad you didn't end up in a cult.
Since we did talk about Jim Jones, who the People's Temple started in 1955, the branch Davidians of Waco, Texas, also started in 1955.
Yes, they did. And that David Koresh, everybody knows about David Koresh. This was a big, huge thing. Like in the 90s, was it 93 when this happened? He also believed himself to be a Messiah and could talk to God. He also feared an apocalypse as well. They had a huge commune.
Wait, one of my favorite things about him is he declared all women, including those
his wives
and already married, his spiritual wives. Go ahead, sorry.
Wives, and wives as young as 10 years old.
Yeah,
gross, dude. Yeah, he had issues. So this is the Waco, Texas thing, and everybody talks about Waco and Koresh. This is what they're talking about,
right?
So there was a big standoff at the commune with the FBI. What was it, like 51 hours or something like that? Ended in a shootout and a fire.
51 like days.
Oh, 50. Yeah, that's what I meant. 51 days.
Yeah.
And ended out in like a shootout and then like a fire. Like 70 plus people died.
Is that how? I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't actually look up with the Branch Davidians, was how many people actually died.
Yeah, it was 75, and then the 76th person was Koresh. He was shot in the head.
Oh, I guess it says more than 80 people.
Yeah, well, maybe so.
Well, I don't know if your numbers included, because I would imagine that there was some law enforcement casualties.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Join the debate though. Yogaville cult.
Oh my God, Yogaville. I have that one. Where did I put it?
I don't know which Portlandia show has a chicken in it. What is Yogaville?
I'm trying to find it. I wrote it down.
True. What is your site? Please join my cult.
Well, while we're waiting on that one, do you want to move on to the Manson family?
We could. I actually wanted to talk about the Sillivanians. Do you know of them?
Yes,
They were
yes.
operating from about 1957 to
1957 to
1991.
1991. Yeah, 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 yeah. Saul B. Newton was
Yep,
their leader.
that's right.
Um,
With
and
his
their
wife,
big,
Dr. Jane Pierce.
yeah, and their big thing in that cult was polygamy. They didn't allow people to have one-on-one relationships. That cult ended when they died.
Is that polyamorous?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Yes.
Also, any children born to the Sillivanians were sent away to a boarding school or caretakers
Yeah, weren't they like
with
given
very little
away?
visitation from their parents.
Yeah.
All members were encouraged to cut ties with their former friends and families. In the 1970s, the group, which had around 500 members, merged with a progressive theater collective called The Fourth Wall and relocated to Orlando in 1979, following the nuclear meltdown at 3 Mile Island.
Nice.
Oh,
Yogaville? Was that the
Yogaville.
family, Amanda?
Oh yeah, she was the one that asked us about Yogaville.
Yeah. Yogaville. Anyways, there was a cult called the Family in Australia, and the leader was a yoga teacher, and believed she was a reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Her name was Anne Hamilton Byrne, and she adopted 28 children. Basically, her followers would give her children as gifts. So she had like these 28 children. But when they misbehaved, she'd beat them, she'd starve them, she'd dose them with LSD. Weird cult.
Yeah, you don't give LSD to people who don't want it.
Yeah, yeah.
Give it to me.
Yeah, give it to you. Give it to you.
I mean, I'm better than people who don't. At least I want it.
Yeah. So Charles Manson, the Manson family.
The Manson family. What about them?
That's our next one, right?
I mean, yeah, we could talk about the Manson family.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So Charles Manson, he believed that a race war was imminent. And so basically he tried to start one by instructing his followers to go on a killing spree. Awkward silence.
She's talking about the one from Virginia. I'm trying to read what Candace telling us. I think she's talking about the thing in Virginia. Yes, Charles Manson. Charles Manson, a failed musician, turned
kind of a
cult
bum.
leader, kind of a bum.
Yeah.
But a persuasive bum.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was wanted to start this race war, and that would be like the beginning of the apocalypse. So he was all kinds of crazy.
Which seems weird because, like, at that point in time, the late 1960s was all about peace, love, integration, and things like that.
Yeah, but he was one of those. He was one of those, though.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
But I didn't think California was that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's still pockets of people, unfortunately.
Sure. Well, but he was a part of that real peace, love, happiness sort of thing, wasn't he? Like that was that? The peace, love, and happiness sort of.
Yeah, I don't know. They just like blindly followed him. It was crazy.
Do you think if he would have been like got a record deal or whatever, like he would have been like more famous or anything, like not been a killer?
I don't know how much more famous you can get.
He wasn't a killer. I don't know why. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was after the fact.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think there's just something. He was born with something wrong with him in his brain.
Yeah.
Can we talk about one of my absolute favorites?
Talk about it.
It is the Hale-Bopp, the Hale-Bopp Comet people.
Are you talking about Heaven's Gate?
Heaven's Gate, yes, 1972 to 1987.
Right.
Yes, and they had a mass suicide too of 39 people. What they believed was that God was an alien, and the Hale-Bopp comet was passing over, and that was obscuring or carrying the UFO that was going to transport them to heaven. So they had to get ready, and like they all wore like the same dark clothing. Was it Nikes? Put like a bag over their head, plastic bag over their head. They all had like $5.75 in their pocket. And didn't they like just eat a bunch of phenobarbital and like chased it with vodka, put plastic bags over their heads, and just basically suffocated themselves?
That sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, they were wearing Nikes when they did it. It could have
Yeah,
ruined a
I
whole
know.
company.
I know. It was crazy. And Rose McGowan and Joaquin Phoenix were both born and brought up in that cult until they left.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Why is my mouse not working?
I don't
There we
know.
go.
I don't know. But they, lots like a lot of other cults, they oh yeah, surgical castrations were common. People would volunteer. I think 80 men volunteered to have their balls cut off. There's a lot of pedophilia going on and child abuse. It was just really shitty. And it was Marshall Applewhite, and I forget the chick's first name. The last name is Nettles. They ran that
Bonnie
thing.
Nettles.
Yeah, Bonnie Nettles. So for something so religious to, I mean, a lot of these religions allowed and like propagated and encouraged pedophilia,
Yeah.
and polygamy is one thing, but pedophilia is another. Like
I
a
think it's just the way
whole.
that these sick fucks just find a way to hide behind, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep. And
A religion or
yeah.
whatever it is in order to facilitate their sicko fucking shit.
Oh, and a lot of other things too, to keep them in the cult. They cut them off. They make them cut off from their families, their friends, give up all their possessions, their money, cancel their bank account, just all this shit so that they're cut off from the rest of the world. That doesn't probably fly now that there's like cell phones and stuff quite as much. Nobody wants to give up
Right.
their cell phone.
Well, it's
But
so wild to me though, like with all the information, even back in like the 90s, yeah, like we didn't have the internet, but I mean everyone had cable television. You had 150 fucking channels that people still get caught up in,
yeah,
joining things like cults and stuff.
yeah.
One of the ones I did want to talk about too, which isn't like, probably as well known as the ones we've already spoken about, but it's the Children of God Family
Oh
International.
yeah,
And
I have that.
they're still going around. They're still today. They're going around. That's the one that Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan were in.
No,
They weren't in.
was it?
Yeah, they were in that. They were
Oh
in.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I got that
Yeah,
mixed up.
yeah. They would
Yeah,
use.
that was
Yeah,
the Children of God. Yeah, that's the one that's still going on since 1968.
the
Sorry,
Children of
everybody, I
God.
was wrong.
The ones that use like young women to lure like men in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically religious prostituting.
Agreed, Melissa
Yeah.
Voland. Um, But yeah, so anyway, David Mosesberg founded, it was a communist Christian offshoot of basically Children of God, I believe was an offshoot of Family International. Uh, so wait, where was I trying to read that? Oh yeah, for someone so concerned with moral decay and evolution, Berg had a very sex-centric perspective on how to spread the views of Jesus. Included reported recruitment through flirty fishing, which was basically using young women to lure in new members by having sex with them, and apparently opposing anti-pedophilia laws. According to some former members, having sex with children was not only permitted, but also a divine right.
That's fucked up.
It's very fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very fucked up.
But that again, but then if you also, and I don't mean to, I know everyone has their own religious takes, but I mean even like Christianity and is like Islam and shit, like you know what I mean.
Anything
Either
can be a
they're
cult,
they're all hiding behind their religions to basically have
Right.
sex with children.
Yeah,
Because they all
basically.
do it. Every fucking religion does it. Only some of
Um,
them admit it and some don't.
yeah, that's true. There was another one. Oh, the Rajneesh Osho, the one in
uh
Japan.
Oh, okay.
Or, I mean, not Japan. The one in India.
Yeah, I think didn't they just come out? Oh wait, here's a good one. You're right. The Westboro Baptist Church, Melissa Voland. That is a fucking cult. The cult of hating Marilyn Manson. And Slipknot is pretty much what that is. Like why waste your time with going to a fucking concert and like screaming at kids trying to go listen to music? So dumb.
I don't know.
Those
There's
kids. You think the kid in a Cannibal Corpse shirt is going to give a fuck what some Westboro Baptist Church motherfucker says? He's not going to talk about the Freemasons. That's a whole episode in itself, too.
Oh, you remember? Do you remember Robert all weekend at Crypticon coming in? Can I talk to you about our Lord and Savior, George Romero?
Can I speak to you about our Lord and Savior, George Romero?
Do you have a moment for me to speak to you about our Lord and Savior, George Romero? I'm like, yes.
Well, so wait. So by definition, is the Zompire Horde a cult?
No, because we don't have like rules and weird practices. Well, we might have weird practices, but we don't like have followers that we try to. Do we have followers? Do we have fans?
We have fans for sure.
We have a fan. I mean, Melissa's our fan.
We know Melissa. And look, Ryan Merriman just showed up.
So, Ryan!
I mean, Luke's here. He's just not talking about Luke. Did you say Peach Whore?
I did. That's my boy. That's my boy. Melissa so, no, the Rajneesh movement, he came to the U.S. He was the sex guru. And he was like the first documented bioterrorism. He killed a whole bunch of people with a mass food poisoning of salmonella on purpose.
Oh.
He was against mainstream religion, but he had a bunch of weapons. What was it? Marriage fraud. Yeah, I think that's about it on that one.
There's actually one that was really, really close to where you and I live. I'm trying to find.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's called like the Rajneeshpuram.
And it was in Oregon.
Yeah. So it was a religious intentional. It was a religious intentional community in the Northwest United States located in Wasco County, Oregon. Its citizens and leaders were responsible for launching the 1984 Rajneesh bioterror attacks.
Yeah, that's him.
As well as the plan. So I guess these guys were...
No, this is the same guy I was just talking about.
Oh, but he came from India.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they were located in Oregon.
Yeah. And isn't it like a children's camp now or something?
Yeah. You're right. No, it is that. Now
yeah.
It's called the Washington Family Ranch.
Yeah, even though it's in Oregon. What's up with that?
Well, actually, that the county that it's in, I believe, is like literally on the border.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. But I'm curious about these bioterror attacks.
Yeah.
751 people suffered food poisoning in the Dalles, Oregon, U.S. due to the deliberate contamination of salad bars at 10 local restaurants with salmonella.
Yeah.
A group of prominent followers of the Rajneesh, later known as Osho, led by Ma and Shaila, had hoped to incapacitate the voting population of the city so that their own candidates would win the 1984 Wasco County elections.
Isn't that crazy?
The incident was the first and is the single largest bioterrorist attack in the United States history.
Yep. I already said that.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy? So there's another one.
It's a ducked up state. I like that. I see what you did there.
There's a dude out of Mexico, Chihuahua, Mexico, Ervil LeBaron, the Church of the Lamb of God. So he allowed the killing of sinners to cleanse them of evil. And so he and his followers killed like over 20 people. fucking religions. Can we touch on something sensitive? Most religions.
Like Ryan Merriman saying he was watching his favorite Monday night show.
I thought we were your favorite Monday night show, Ryan.
Talk about getting sensitive.
I'm going to change the name of that beard oil now.
Yeah, to fuck Ryan.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I love you. I love you, Ryan. There's another one. Gosh, my notes are always like a mess because I had to do this. Like, I got home from New Orleans. I was super tired. I had to cleanse myself inside and out. So, like, I was holding like a selenite and Michael could put a selenite in one hand and a silver sheet obsidian in the other. And I just laid in this salt bath with purple bath bomb. And I let all the toxins just roll out of my eyes. After that, I just took a shower and I fucking loofed the shit. Man, I had to get the New Orleans off me, man.
I bet.
Yeah, so I was tired and I didn't have a lot of time and I just scribbled things here and there. And then today on my lunch at work today too. So that was the long story of why my notes are all jumbled up.
Dude, all right. So really quick, because somebody else brought this up. I'm slacking on comments for a moment. Let's see. Do some people think yes, definitely?
Yeah, and I was going to hit on, there's a Mormon group called the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Church.
Ryan made up for it. We're his favorite podcast. Okay, fair.
All right. We're kind of a television show. We're just not on television.
Let me, I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, we could be on television. But hold on. Did you just say a cult? Did you bring up a cult yet?
No.
I want to bring this up. So, are you familiar with Ramtha?
I'm not familiar with that one. You're going to have to fill me in.
All right. Since 1989, a woman who calls herself Jayz Knight has drawn tens of thousands of followers, including Hollywood celebrities, to her Ramtha School of Enlightenment in Yelm, Washington.
What the fuck?
Where she says she channels a 35,000-year-old Lemurian warrior. The New Age cult leader also savages Catholics, Mexican, Jews, and Jehovah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is in Yelm. That's not far from us.
I'm supposed to be going to Yelm, like, I don't know what weekend, but I'm supposed to be doing a episode of Band Wars out in Yelm.
You're going to a cult. That's what's happening.
No, it's Band Wars.
On this week of Band Wars, are you cool enough to join a cult to become the coolest rocker ever of all time? This week on Band Wars.
Noise.
Street Outlaws and hardcore or horror.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Yeah, so it's actually a town just outside of Olympia, which is where I live, so that's great. Hundreds of truth seekers pack into a converted horse arena to hear a 35,000-year-old Lemurian warrior speak the wisdom of the ages.
Wow.
Apparently it says here there's no Kool-Aid served, just red wine, bottles and bottles of it. So basically you get drunk enough to believe this lady's a 35,000-year-old yeah, it does sound like some bizarre. So basically you get drunk enough to go to believe this lady's, speaking or being spoken through by a 35,000-year-old, like, I don't know what Lemurian warrior means, but it sounds cool.
It's very, very ancient peoples. But Scientology. That's a freaking cult. Tom Cruise. I'll be right back. Hold that thought.
Tom Cruise. Hopefully you're leaving to go get something Tom Cruise related.
No.
Yeah, we're going to go, Luke, for sure. Apparently it's not far. We can join a cult. I'm in. I feel like it's like one of the only things I haven't done in my life is join a cult. So, I mean, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Maybe I join a cult just to see what it's like.
Hey, man, don't talk like that.
I was in a gang, so, I mean, it's kind of like a cult.
I'm in a gang. You don't know me. I won't.
All right, so where were we?
We were talking about the one in Yelm.
So that's basically what I have is, Jayz Knight, which stands for Judith Zebra. She's a 65-year-old former rodeo queen and a cable TV saleswoman.
Really? Cable girl. The Pastafarians, I'm down for that.
I'm not gonna lie, the farm looks pretty rad, and they all wear these like black robes. And if you're wearing black, I'm in because black is slimming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah.
We're gonna
What else
join
you
the
got?
Pastafarians.
Pastafarians.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what Panda says. Join the Pastafarians. I believe the Pastafarians, now correct me if I'm wrong, they're kind of like people who enjoy reggae and spaghetti at the same time. And if you're listening to reggae, you have to be eating spaghetti. If you're listening to eating spaghetti, you have to be listening to reggae. Is the rules of the thing. And I don't know if they make like little kids eat spaghetti or listen to reggae, but
They make little kids eat spaghetti while listening to reggae.
Okay, fair.
And wear a colander on your head.
And your ID. Oh, you get like a cult ID. I want a cult ID.
Join the Pastafarians. You should look it up real quick. It's hilarious.
Is it a real thing?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Kinda. There's another one. I actually was watching a little bit of it last night before I passed out. I'm gonna totally butcher this name. The cult is called Shinrikyo, and it was led. It was in the 80s in Japan. And it was led by a motherfucker named Shoko Asahara, and he claimed to be Christ. He believed that war was imminent, so he decided to set 5 toxic nerve agent bags on a train.
Wait, that's a weird cult. With nerve agent bags on a train? He
left like 5 bags of them on a train.
Oh wow! Did it go off?
Fuck yeah. So there was another failed attempt with another. I don't remember what the substance was, but it was another something like that.
All right, I got one. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. The Flying Spaghetti Monster is the deity of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, or Pastafarianism.
Yep.
A social movement that promotes a lighthearted view of religion.
Haven't you seen the little bumper stickers on people's cars?
Of that weird little crab?
Yeah. No. Look up the logo. Look it up. Look it up right now. I'm looking
at the symbol right now. It looks like a crab with 3 broken legs. I'm dead serious.
Oh.
It's like a little crab guy. Is it not?
It's pretty cute, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
See, there you have it. It's got a following, therefore it's a cult.
All right.
Let's see. There was one called Heavenly Jerusalem, and it was the True Russian Orthodox Church. And they basically forced like 30 people to hole up into a cave until they like died or starved, and then they, left. But
the Lobster Leviathan cult.
Nice.
So you've never been in a cult? You never thought
I've never been. No, I don't like groups.
I don't like people too much, so it kind of keeps me out of cults, as it were.
Well, it's just like it's hard enough. Like, okay, you get like prepped for it growing up in like a nuclear family, for example, right?
Right.
And then you go to school and you're with people, and then you get a job and you're with people. So, I mean, it's like I want my free time, and sometimes my free time involves not fucking being with people.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like especially after these last couple days, man, I just need. And I didn't even take a day off in between coming home from my vacation and going to work. But goddamn, am I glad to be home. It smelled so bad there. There was like garbage and vomit, and like in the middle, like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, they go through and they take this fucking soapy water and they hose down the streets, pick up the garbage, and starts all over again. But it really never stops.
And it wasn't like Mardi Gras right now.
No,
it was just like a regular
day. It's like 10 times worse at Mardi Gras. I can't imagine, because you're walking through and like the videos.
Right.
I don't have any videos of that.
There's no good reason for there to be puke and piss and shit everywhere.
Oh yes, there is. It's a party. Everybody's fucked up.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's not Mardi Gras, so it's a city. It shouldn't smell that way. But people party there year round.
Yeah.
And shit and piss everywhere and like throw up on everything.
They do. That's what happens.
So wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
I couldn't live in a city like that. Like that.
If you can get past the smell and like the structures are gorgeous. I mean, the ironwork on the windows and the fences and the homes are like all colonial, and they have all these beautifully carved freaking arches and pillars and whatever those other structural things are called. Just fucking awesome.
Well, and that's one of the cool things about the East Coast, and especially the South, is like there's so many beautiful homes and that were built long before Seattle was ever founded.
Exactly. I love the South. I really enjoyed myself. I mean, there was a few moments, but it was so pretty. But it's like a party town. If you like Vegas, like the Strip, it's kind of like that minus the casinos and a lot dirtier. But people are still walking around with drinks. There's girls walking around with shots, trying to get you to come into the bar. And, and it's just, there's people everywhere. There's people playing street music and tap dancing, and there's fucking mules pulling carriages, and there's people riding, glow in the dark fucking scooters. And it's crazy. There's that chick playing the violin, she did Bohemian Rhapsody, and all of us were just like fucking banging our head like Wayne's World and screaming along the lyrics in the middle of the street at 10:30 at night to this chick playing it on the violin. It was so much fun. We went dancing. It was so much fun. It's like you go from like bar to bar to bar to bar, and it's like they're all 2 doors apart or whatever, right next to each other. And there's a different genre. You go over here, there's a hip hop musician playing. You got like dance and DJ over here, and then there's a country bar, and you got some honky tonk, and then you got rock, and then you got metal, and then you got covers, and it's like so much good stuff. There's something for everybody there, and the people are so nice. They're so fucking nice. In Seattle or Tacoma, you walk past people, nobody makes eye contact or says hi. You bump into somebody and they're like, they start beefing with you. It's like, it's not like that there. And all the women are gorgeous, and they call you baby. Oh, hi, baby. How are you doing today? Good morning, baby. Just fucking everybody's so cool and so nice. You do get approached by a lot of people asking, for money, and they have this story, and it's all, it's a story. They're really good at it. The Swindlin's great down there. Food, amazing. It was really fucking hot though. It was real. I got a sunburn.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I don't know if you can tell. Okay, my ring light broke, but can you tell?
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
It's pretty bad. My knees are like bright red.
Well, that's Michelle's final thought this week.
Yes. New Orleans.
Nolans.
Well,
thank you guys for tuning in this week to another episode of the Zompire Horde podcast. Next week, I'm going to try and lock us down a guest.
All right.
So we won't have a topic. We'll have a guest.
Okay. You're going to tell me who it is after we get off of here?
Probably.
Well, make sure we're not still live when you do it.
I'll make sure we're not. Yeah, because I probably something I would do because I'm dumb like that.
Well, I think we've done that before on accident.
I'm a big dumb.
You're not a big dumb, sweetie. It's okay.
Thanks.
I love you.
Love you. Welcome to the Zompire Horde podcast. Join us every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as your hosts, Vlad the Rad and Michelle of the Dead, discuss horror, true crime, and the macabre. Episodes available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Join us, won't you?